Angry guy here, and women are scared that men are leaving society. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications. Then never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Women are scared that men are leaving society. I want to look at a comment that I received, and basically it was following up on a video I had made where I explained that, men are walking away from Western society and they want their peace. So even though I'm an extreme extrovert, I basically now spend most of my time completely alone. And I don't want to have to deal with others, both men and women. I'm done dealing with BS. This person said, think you meant introvert, not extrovert. And this is extremely sad. This is the reason why I use this as an example, is because there are a lot of women who do the same thing. The moment a man says that he's no longer interested in having relationships with women, he's not interested in having physical encounters with women, he's not interested in any of that, he has no attraction anymore, they immediately question his sexuality. They say that they have plenty of gay friends and they are strong supporters of the GLAD community, but then they call the guy gay because he doesn't want to have a relationship with any woman and he's no longer finding them attractive. You see, this is what women do. It's a part of their shaming language, but at the same time, it's used to demoralize, destabilize, and destroy the confidence of men. It's basically along the lines of, oh, you don't want to worship the golden V? Okay, then we're going to tear you down. We're going to tear you down and we're going to shame you. And we're going to shame you in front of other men. We want you to feel disgusted with yourself. We want you to know that you don't even exist. We want to humiliate you. It's a form of humiliation. This is how they operate. This is how they think. And you need to wake up and realize that this is happening around us. And people like this guy, who may, this may be one of my followers or subscribers, maybe a decent guy, I don't know. However, the fact of the matter that he could not comprehend that men, regardless if you're an introvert or extrovert, are done with the nonsense. And just to be clear, a lot of introverts are extremely social people. Some of the most social people on the planet are actually introverts. Some of the people with the best communication skills on the planet are introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean that you're not able to effectively communicate with others. A lot of introverts are, I don't want to call them, I don't want to use the word scumbags. Being an extreme extrovert, that's the relationship that I have with introverts. I've had introvert friends, but this is how they are. And like MK Fitness, he's a great guy. And he's never done this to me, but like he's 100% an introvert. I've had him on the channel a couple of times to co-host, and he's 100% an extreme introvert. And I'll tell you how you know this. I used to have a friend who was an extreme introvert. And he basically described it like this, like he'd just be hanging out with me and he's like, all right, I want to go hang out, want to go be by myself. And he would describe it like, he starts to get excited being alone. And he never knew this because he never knew about introverts and extroverts. He didn't understand the concept, and he would talk about how it used to create a lot of friction with his parents. And I had to basically say to him, I don't like introverts, but you can't change who you are. This is a part of your personality. As an extrovert, I pull energy from others. And as an introvert, you create your own energy and you can get burnt out very easily. So you do need your personal time to yourself to recharge. And he would literally describe it as when he's going to be by himself, he'd start to get excited. And when I spoke to MK Fitness, I was trying to figure out if he's really a real introvert. And he said the exact same thing. When he's, when at the prospect of being by himself, he starts to get excited. Okay. So that's how you know these people are real introverts. You'll have these people and they can be the life of a party, right? Like they'll be at a party and the party's just getting started and they're out with their friends, and then like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes in, everything's starting to heat up. Like, okay, people are starting to arrive, and they're like, okay, well, anyway, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go home. Bye bye. And you're like, and everyone's like, wait, what are you talking about, man? The party hasn't even got started yet. What are you doing? No. Listen, I gotta go. I gotta go. And bro, the party is literally just getting started, and these people are already home on the couch, watching anime or playing video games, living their best life by themselves, and it's not even 10 p.m. yet. Like they used to have this thing on the news in America where they would go, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" Bro, these people were home by 9:30. They were home by 9:30. They're eating ice cream on the couch, chilling, enjoying living their best life, and they are so happy by themselves. And they are excited. Their friends are literally texting them like, "Bro, this is happening right now." And bro, these people are they'll silence their phone. They'll silence their phone. So I'm just like trying to point this out to you that like just because a person is an introvert doesn't mean that they don't have great communication skills or that they don't have a very charismatic personality. Many of them do. People don't understand introvert and extrovert. But what I'm saying is that as an extreme extrovert, and a lot of guys who are extroverts can relate to this, that have been through these things, are just walking away. I can't deal with people like this anymore. I just can't, but I cannot be bothered with them. And I explained this in the other video, and I don't know why this individual said this. It's just straight up shaming language. That, for example, to deal with it, I make YouTube videos, and I basically talk in the videos, and it's kind of like I'm speaking to someone else. That's how YouTube really works for me. It helps me to feel like I'm connecting with another person. That's one of the reasons why I'm able to pump out so many videos. I'm such an extreme extrovert that I'm talking to you right now. So like making this video for you, it's my form of literally having a conversation with another person. And that helps me to kind of emulate, gaining energy from others. It sounds crazy, but this is how I have to live. And I would rather do this. And that kind of basically should tell you now how I'm able to pump out 10 or even 15 videos in a single day, because I need to talk. I'm a talker. I can talk and listen and go back and forth with someone for hours and hours. And that's, like I said, I'm an extreme extrovert, but I'm not putting up with the crap anymore. And being in a relationship with a woman, it's better to be alone than to feel alone. And the amount of stress that these people will bring into your life. I had a comment from a 70-year-old man, and he talked about leaving his wife after like 24 years, and he referred to her as a wretch. He referred to her as a miserable wretch. And it's like, my gosh, it's like like, nah, I'm not. Listen to me. There's so many guys that I don't know. I just don't know. And these women today, they just want to get their bag. They just want to get their bag. And a lot of men and that's what I consider these guys. Because, if you're a man that is afraid of being in a society, where there are no women, or being in a place where there are no women, you're a weak man. And the thing is that a lot of men are trying to live off other men. I made a poll and I asked about this. I asked, for example, if we had a society where there was just men, and artificial wombs, how would that work out for us? And it was very interesting when you look at the responses, because there were a lot of dudes that were 100% scared. Most men know that they cannot survive without other men, even on a basic level. What do I mean by that? Well, we all have to stand on our own 2 feet, but let's be serious. If men don't wake up and deliver food to the stores or clean the streets or do everything to maintain society, there is no society. And a lot of men know this, but at the same time, they don't want to lose access to the golden V. And I have subscribers clearly, because they immediately, I asked this question: a technologically advanced country with only men and artificial wombs would be and we had 1.1 thousand votes. And the poll did not start out like this. But after getting this many votes, the resounding number, the largest number is 43% overall success, 28% overall failure, 17% mixed bag, 5% I don't know, and 7% I don't care. And it's interesting. They always say that the lowest denominator is the loudest. And it's absolutely true. Because if you look at some of the comments, you have people immediately jumping into shaming language, absolute shaming language. While there are a lot of guys who say stress free life for all men, lol, it has to be a winner, right? And another guy, success, right? But then you look at some of the other comments and alien, it would be gay. That's a really bad idea. Why are you saying that? Why are you? And look, guys, look at the number of likes. 15 likes. 15. That's a lot of likes. If you look at all the other posts on here, okay, that says a lot. So there's a lot of these men who are afraid to even speak, but they want to be around us. They want to be around men who still have their masculinity in check because they can't survive without us. They cannot survive without us. But they want to have access to the golden V. So there's a lot of simps in the manosphere. The notion is, oh, if men walk away from society and are just by themselves, they are automatically going to start engaging in homosexual behavior. Heterosexual. This is, guys. Do you see how sick this is? Do you see how crazy this is? It's basically these men believe that women need to always be there to watch over us. These are the same dudes that are the reason why women ended up getting the right to vote, but without having to sign up for the draft. Let's look at some of the comments. Someone said LMAO, so laughing my butt off. And then look at this one. Sir says 100% would be gayer than June. Keith agreed. But then online said, but couldn't there be robots? If you had a society, a technologically advanced society, especially in our day and age, with just men and artificial wombs, we would have androids all over the place. There would be female androids. Mayumi talked about this. Mayumi, who's a total nerd, anime nerd, talked about this. She posted about this, that women need to be careful, or we're going to end up in a world of chobits. Chobits was an anime that came out in the early 2000s. And it was essentially a world where people were marrying androids, having relationships with androids that looked and felt in many ways like human beings, like female. And they had personalities. They were essentially artificial human beings. And that's what we would be heading for. There's also Blade Runner, where you have augmented reality and you can basically see your girlfriend in augmented reality. We also have Sword Art Online. And with Sword, and many of you may not know this, we actually have video games now that you can control with your brainwaves. When will this technology will it ever go mainstream? We have to wait and see. But we have video games that can actually be controlled using your brainwaves right now, where people are playing video games using only their brainwaves. It basically scans your brainwaves and it'll determine if you want to move, if you want to run, if you want to take a specific Action. Sword Art Online is a video game. It's an anime where people are basically living in these playing games in these virtual worlds, but it's almost like you live in this world itself, and you put on a headset and you're there. And people think this is a game. It's a game, but it's not a game. They're playing a game, but it's really heading towards that direction where men will basically start having relationships in these virtual worlds, and they will prepare them. They will prefer these relationships. There was a movie called, I think it was Demolition Man, and basically the main character gets like frozen as a result of something that happens to you as a police officer. He gets frozen. He ends up being thawed out in the future, becomes a police officer again in the future. And he's in a relationship with a female police officer, and she asked him at one point, "Hey, do you want to have sex?" And he's like, "Okay, sure." So he thinks that they're about to get physical, but instead she pulls out this was like back from the 90s. This movie came out maybe in the mid or early 90s, and she pulls out this thing that looks like a kind of almost like a game console with VR with augmented reality glasses. and they put them on, and he's like, what the hell? And she turns it on, and it's like, it's basically them having physical intimacy in in the metaverse. Basically, it's Sword Art Online, and this is something that they conceived like 30 years ago, bro. 30 years ago, they conceived this, and people don't understand this is where it's headed. So you'd have all of these guys having these types of relationships. There would be androids, there would be augmented reality. There would be, I mean, and the guys powered by AI, generative AI. You've got to be kidding me. And if she starts misbehaving, you would just basically tweak the AI settings. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. All right. These men are scared of being alone. Look what someone said. You do know that AI is reading these questions, right? Question is shallow. We all love Kitty. The mindset needs to change. Women need men more than men need women. Men desire women. Men just need to stop simping. Make the kitty desire what you bring. Guys, our power, the game is rigged. And the success that we are having and seeing right now is because men are leaving. Men are walking away from Western society. Men are walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society. And a lot of these weak men are like, oh my gosh, it's working. We need to fight. The game is rigged. Men have tried that for decades. Well, you guys are weak. Go fight by yourself. You're a weak man. I'm going to shame you. Then why are you here? Go away. No, I can stay here if I want to, because you're a weak man. You're a weak man. You're addicted to Kitty, but you don't have anywhere else to go because you need other men to survive. And you're going to argue and nag other men because you want continuous access to Kitty, and you want to. And it's basically like the socialists that help to lead their countries into destruction, and then they go to another man's country and try to rinse and repeat the exact same thing that led to destruction of their own countries. This is what these men are. That's what these men are. It's so sick. These guys are addicts. Okay, as a man right now, I don't need it. I'll tell you straight up. I'll be very honest with you. I haven't been with a woman in many years. There was like during the pandemic, I was with a ton of during the events of 2020, I was with a lot of women. Actually, it was actually fewer than usual for me, because before that I had been with like hundreds of women, but everything was shut down during the events of 2020. So, for all of 2020, I was maybe with like 15 or 20 different women. You know, I had a couple of situationships, but that was my 2020. And then after that, like, I got sick for a while, and I've gotten a lot better over the last year, and I have no desire. I have zero desire to be physically intimate. And the thing is, like, if that desire, the rare occasion where I may have feel anything, I just go and, like, pluck the chicken a little bit, and then all of a sudden the post nut clarity sets in within within milliseconds, not 1 second, within milliseconds. It's not even a second; it's a fraction of a second. And the moment that post nut clarity hits, I'm like, yeah, I'm not messing with them. I have no desire for one. Where did that even come from? Like, who is this person? Like, how, my gosh, I can't believe this. Our brains are messed up. I'm a completely different person. Like, holy cow. Like, that's kind of it. Like, I have no real desire for a woman. And these are the same guys that would say that means that I have a desire for a man. And personally, I don't like these men. I don't really like them. I don't want them around, but they won't go away because they're weak and they need other men to survive. But they're gonna keep on pushing to bring simping along. Okay, let's keep on going. Some men, are not able to overcome their desire. And I understand that. And that's why men go overseas and they find a woman overseas if they cannot overcome their desire. But they need to leave it alone and understand there's a lot of men who don't want to be in relationships at all. I've talked about the mgli puffs. And when I helped establish, I'm one of the OGs of the mgli puff community. And I had to leave. It became crazy. They like to say, "Oh, I was put out." No, these people, it was infiltrated by the Incas, and these guys started to get really crazy and talk about going on the offense and stuff like that, and which is absolute nonsense. I would constantly say, a true man that's going their own way is not going to risk their freedom or any of that. And these guys started to become absolutely insane and ballistic. And what did I do? I walked away. And now we have MWA, men walking away, including walking away from labels. That's what it originally was supposed to be. But the thing is that you have to understand those guys, like the Migglypuff community, the MGTOW, those are male separatists. And when that community was really beginning to take off, now the women are just doing their work for them. But when that community was starting to take off, a lot of the women and simps would say that this community is filled with men who are secretly raging for other men. And the PUAs literally came after the community, claiming that these men wanted to be they wanted to be bottoms, and they were desiring other guys. They were so furious. They were furious, and they kept on attacking these men, right? And now what's happened? Now things have kind of calmed down in the Migglypuff community, and the reason why is because they don't have to advertise anymore. Women are doing it for them. Modern women are literally doing it for them. And the Migglypuff community, there do not confuse it. These are separatists. These are 100% separatists. They do not want to be in relationships. They don't want to date. They don't want to be involved in any of that. They are literally choosing to walk away and have zero relationships. And I want men to wake up and realize, I've said this before and I'll say it again, nothing lasts forever. And women have created this reality. And a lot of men are scared. Weak men are scared. And a lot of women are scared that men are leaving society. They're abandoning society. And what that means, and of course, all they're going to do is use shaming language and tactics like this. All right. Because they're scared. They're scared that men are leaving, but they're never going to admit to it. And why do you have all these simps in the manosphere? Why do I have these simps on my channel? Because they know that they can't survive without other men. They can't survive without other men. They want to be around men, but they also want to bring the women around men. Do you see how it works? And these types of people, they're only going to strengthen, when they do these types of things, they are only going to strengthen the Migglypuff community and send more men, men walking away or men walking away from Western society and relationships with Western society. But it's not necessarily that these men want to be separatists. You understand? But then you have guys who are going like full blown monk, and monks are separatists. And the Migglypuff community, they are separatists. Do not misunderstand. When the Migglypuffs are separatists, they try to say that, oh, we were becoming password bros. No, absolutely not. Okay, the Migglypuff community is about separating oneself, about separating when MGTOW 2.0 started, because there was 1.0, and 1.0 was about rebuilding the relationship with women. It was basically neo masculinity that Rush V tried to co-opt later on. But MGTOW 2.0, which started on YouTube, that was literally men choosing not to marry, not to have children, and instead focus on themselves and their own happiness. And at that point, there were still some dudes who were dating, but a lot of dudes were actually abstaining from dating and relationships. But it never actually said you couldn't date, although a lot of dudes started choosing not to. MGTOW 3.0 is essentially men walking away from men separating themselves from women, from women and the state, socially, economically, everything, separating. It's a separatist movement. It is a separatist movement. Let's make this very clear. MWA is men walking away. Migglypuff, That's separatism. It is 100% separatism. Like, back in the days when you used to have those signs around fountains that said that this is a water fountain for these group of people, and this is a water fountain for these group of people. This is a bathroom for these group of people. Or these schools are for these people, and these schools are for these people. It is separate. It is what it is. Some of y'all will say, "Angry, you're going too far." No, I'm not. It is 100% separatism. These bigly puffs are ghosting in society. Like, they may operate and do what they have to do and make their money, but that's it. They have no relationships in their personal lives with women, and they will actively try to even avoid engaging with a woman. There are some of these dudes who, if there's a woman like at a checkout counter, they won't even check out their item. They'll go somewhere else. Like, they'll act, and most people won't notice it, but they'll live lives where they actively choose to not engage with women if they don't have to. And this is really how a lot of them live. It is and they may live in society, but they are disengaged from society as much as they possibly can. They take what they need and they leave, you know, and you don't see it, but they are ghosting in plain sight. They are ghosting in plain sight. And women are scared, and simps are scared, weak men are scared, and they're scared because they immediately start questioning the sexuality of men who are choosing to walk away and not have relationships at all. And the very notion of men going to a place where there are no women and focusing on themselves only, it immediately heterosexual men, it immediately results in them saying that these men just want to get involved in 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 homosexual relationships with one another, which is an absolute and utter joke. And then these are the same people that'll say that they're supporters of the GLAD community. They support, they have lots of gay friends. And why would you say these things? Because if you're doing this, then you guys need to be honest with yourselves. You're not leaving because you want to be alone. You're leaving because you want to be alone with each other. Okay, and when I say alone with each other, you want to go over there and do nasty things with each other, and you just need to, you don't need to go all the way over there to do that. You just need to admit to it that you want to live that life, and just do it, and just do it over here. They're afraid of losing men with value, because the men walking away are men with the value. They're the men with the money. They're the men with the skills. All right, guys, these are addicts. These are addicts. Okay, they're kitty addicts. They are addicts. They're addicted to the golden V. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, let me know what you guys think. Help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel, or if you already have it, liking the video and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Women are scared that men are leaving society. I want to know your thoughts on this and everything else we discussed, so let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.